Are you in North Queensland or other rural parts around Australia? You've jumped out of a 79 series around the property and you're getting into a Ram, a Chevy or a Ford. This one behind me could be on your wish list for this year. The Ram 2500, they are on a run out. There is a new model coming, but we can get your Ram 3500 dialed in for your use case. Whether you're out west, whether you're interstate or up north and you're super busy, don't forget that we've got transport options to get your vehicle down into Big Dog Builds. We'll get the build done, send a friend to pick it up if you're too busy on the property, or fly in, get a handover done, take that journey back home, and trust me, the distance will be well worth the effort. We are the most awarded American truck company in Australia. My name's Dean Bleasner, I'm the co-founder of Big Dog Builds, with over 650 trucks through the workshop now. Ram 2500s, they were the most popular HD truck at the start of our journey. The Chevy 2500s are picking up, but are the new Rams coming back? I feel it in my waters. So let's go around this one here. It is the Bare Essentials package to get the suspension dialed in. It's got a bit of protection to get this customer sorted out on those big rural plains, around the property, on those big outback highways. You want a little bit of protection. This thing here is definitely going to do exactly that. But let's start up the front end here. We'll run through the bull bar, the suspension, the wheels, the tyres, what's going on in the rear end, what we can do to your Ram 3500 today. The front end of the Ram 2500, it is a difficult front end to get a good looking full guard bar, but TUFF Australia out of Towbar, they've got this big 4-poster option, or 3-poster option in this one. You've got the big hoops, you've also got the brush guards and the side steps down the side. So this one here is built for work. We've gone and installed a GME UHF combination on the front. We've got the 370 combo unit, and then we've got the 1.2 meter whip on the fold down bracket. So these knockdown brackets means that if you are parking your vehicle undercover and you're out on a property, pop that one down there. It's going to be lower than the roof height itself. And when you are out on the highway, you can pop that one up and then you're ready to rumble. If you're around built up areas, you can swap that antenna down by replacing the little grub screw there. Undo that one, pop on the short antenna. You're going to get the best out of both worlds. Putting it simply, the big whip's going to give you bigger distance over bigger plains. The shorter antenna is going to bounce over things, whether you're in a rural environment, in around town, or in the mountains. The shorter antenna is going to be slightly better. But GME, super popular. And as I swing around to the front here, we've got the LED lights on the front of this bar. They're the Baja Design's LP9 Sport LED lights. The benefit with these ones here, they're both a combo and a spot beam in the one LED. So you got 6 LED spots, you got the 3 floods down the bottom. That's going to flood out the bottom, and then the spots are going to be a decent distance down the road. Spend a bit of time, dial these lights in, spread them down the white lines. If you're only running the 2 option like this one here, shooting the left-hand one out that little bit wider, and then the right-hand one decent distance down the road itself. You're going to see the skippies, the pigs that are going to jump out on front. Hopefully you don't hit any, but if you do, a big tough bar like this one here is definitely going to fend them off. We've also then installed a winch. Winch isn't used too much on these American trucks for themselves. It is used to getting the Land Cruisers out of the pad. I'll stop playing on the Land Cruisers, but when it comes to the winch, you got your carbon off-road winch in this one here. We've got the 15,000 pound winch. It's a great combination, a lot of good feedback over the years from this winch combination. For a heavy vehicle, just like the Ram 2500 here, if you're needing to pull a friend out of the paddock or you're stuck on the beach, having a winch on board is definitely that extra little safety measure, because who likes getting, if you've got out, you've had the max tracks get spent underneath, the last resort is always a trusty winch, and you want one to be working as well. So pop the bonnet, turn the isolator on. The carbon off-road winch has got the wireless remote control. Simply turn the controller on and that one will go in and out, and then you can run that one out, pull it in. You've also got the plug-in option as well that we put inside the engine bay. So because you can't access the winch controller itself to easily plug in that remote, we go and extend that one up into an accessible location. So if the wireless remote control went flat, run that extra lead inside the cab and you can use that from in there. So that's the front end of this one here. It's pretty simple, but it's pretty tough, of course. We'll get into the suspension that we've installed into this vehicle, and then the rear end setup and what's to come. When it comes to the suspension in the Ram 3500s, the front end is exactly the same in both vehicles. It's in the rear end that gets quite tricky, but we'll go into a bit more detail in the back end when we get up there. But in the front end of this one here, we got the Carli Pin Top suspension leveling kit. Carli Suspension, one of the best suspension companies in the world. They utilize a King's 2.5 remote reservoir shock. That big shock absorber is going to keep the shock nice and cool with their remote res up on top as well. This one isn't an adjustable setup. You could upgrade that if you really wanted to, but let's face it, how these things come out of the box is pretty handy. The front coil from Carli in there with the leveling kit has got a 2.5 inch from factory with a big TUFF bar on the front there. It will sag down a little bit, but you're gonna have great cycle in the suspension there. We can option it up as well. We can replace the radius arms. We've got high mount, low mount steering stabilizers. We've also got the torsion sway bar under the front there. This customer had chosen to go on with the basics. I say basics, but this suspension kit is going to be better than most other brands out on the market. It comes factory with an adjustable panhard rod. So as you raise your vehicle up, your axle wants to kick out one way. By adjusting that panhard rod, it's going to kick that axle nice and centered. You're going to get the best wheel alignment. You're going to get good wear out of your tires, and it's going to be the best drive all round. Speaking of tires, this customer's kept the OE wheels on his Ram 2500. And he's gone and installed some Toyo Open Country MTs. The Open Country MTs, good load rating, good chunky tread on these ones. So if you are stuck in the muddy's going to get you out. These ones just slightly bigger than stock, so 275 70/18 tyre on this one here. Whether you're wanting to go an additional wheel on this one, the load rating on these factory wheels isn't bad, to be honest. They're going out to a slightly wider wheel. A bigger 35 12.5 inch tyre will let you belly down those tyres when airing down. So if you're stuck on the beach, you definitely want to go to a little bit better profile than this one here. But for the property, to keep the budget down, running a set of tyres on the factory wheels could be the perfect first option. And just remember, with these new Ram 2500s, they've taken away the flares on the vehicle itself. So there's no little flare on there. So any wheel and tyre fitment that's aftermarket is traditionally going to come out a little bit further from standard, which means we're going to have to go the color-coded flares or flares on the front. You might as well color coding. If you're spending all the money on a vehicle like this, you want it to look the part and perform well. So whether you're wanting to run a factory set of wheels with additional tyres, you do have to watch with different vehicles how those tyres are going to swing inside the guard, if they're going to fail on any suspension components. If the tyre on this Ram was any larger than this one width-wise, as the customer swung in, it could hit on the radius arm underneath the vehicle itself. But we know all our combinations with the front end of a Ram 3500. We can go that little bit higher than this one here, which is your 3.25 inch kit. But I'll get into the rear end and I'll explain why the leveling kit is my pick for a 2500 and not to go above 35 inch tyres, which is going to look after your transmission. The 68 RFE, there's a big talking point. G&L Performance can do some tweaks if you're really wanting to push your vehicle with the 68 RFE, but the word on the town is the new ZF transmission in the 2025-26 models coming is going to be a great setup. So I'm keen to hear if you've had any issues with your Ram 2500. We've had loads of customers come through, barely any issues with the transmission. Usually comes down to boys doing naughty stuff and blowing things up, but I won't get into that because the debates will kick off in the comments. So we'll stick to the simple things today. The suspension, the base kit from Carli Suspension is definitely going to make this vehicle drive a whole lot better than standard. And with the rear end setup, there's a bit of weight coming, so we'll get up the back there. We'll talk about the best of both worlds, whether you're light, whether you're heavy. Can you have it both? Let's go up there and I'll talk you through it. When it comes to the Ram 3500, if you're interstate and you're wanting to get your vehicle into big dog builds, we can help the transport options all around Australia now. We'll get your vehicle into the workshop. You can fly in once it's done, get a full handover with the team, stay local for a few days, learn the setup depending on how complex it is. If you're jumping into a four drive for the first time and you're doing a big tour ready to travel around Australia, I really recommend staying local for a little bit. There's always going to be a few questions to go through. But fly in, do that, travel home. The distance into big dog builds is definitely going to be worth your effort. Trust me on that one. And the rear end of this Ram 2500, it has come straight from the dealer from up north. Like I said at the start of this video, this thing here is going to do a lot of property work, a lot of rural driving, and getting the setup at the rear end dialed in. There may be a canopy coming in the future, so you really want to play around with the rear coil settings in the back end. We've got multiple different settings available. These ones have got the HH coils in the back end. Whether we're going to run those ones there, we can step them down a little bit to make it a little bit more comfortable, but the big 2.5 remote res Carli King shock in the rear end is going to keep this vehicle nice and planted on the road. We've also got the sway bar end links in the rear as well from Carli, and that one's going to keep the sway bar and the rear end in a happy place. When you're towing out the back end, setting the rear end up of a 2500 is super important. And speaking of towing, we've got the red and the grey Anderson plugs at the back there. Grey Anderson plug's going to be 50 amp rated, which is going to be your DC-DC charger in a van typically. The red one, some caravans need them, some don't. We like to install it there just as a bit of a safety measure. Even if your one doesn't run it, you can help someone out in need if they do. So that one there is the recommended setup, and of course the Rams come with the 12-pin plug standard. So that's pretty much it in the rear end. Whether you're wanting to swap out the hitch for something slightly better to like a Gen Y hitch combo, the rear end of the 2500 looks amazing with just the tub. Whether you got a Ram box setup, whether you got drawers in the back, whether you're going to go to a canopy setup, a tray canopy setup, we've got multiple different options available. As I said, this one here is the bare basics kit. Whether you're wanting to add power, roof racks, switching, different front bars on the front end, the Ram 3500 options are almost endless. One option that this customer has run that you can't really see from the exterior is a long range fuel tank. Why the long range fuel tank is necessary? Because this is going to be doing some big distances between fuel stops. Having that additional 70 to 80 litres of fuel storage puts this one just under 200 litres of fuel capacity. The Ram 2500s, let's face it, they're more economical than your Land Cruiser. So when you're towing, when you're out on those rural highways, these things are quite economical. So that long distance fuel tank, the Titan OEM replacement fuel tank in this one here, is going to leave you big distances between service stations. So whether you're wanting the bare basics kit, suspension, wheels and tyres, a bit of protection in the front end, long range fuel tank and some tow bar wiring to tow the van, get in touch today. I look forward to talking you through your use case and building a vehicle to suit your needs. If you've got a Ram 2500 on order, check this video out here. It's the new model that's coming. If you want to see these things boogie up the beach, watch this one. If you want to see a bit of behind the scenes content, that one's this one down here. And this one, that's just a little extra because I love it.